I can't say in good conscience that marrying or even dating a single mother is a good thing. I feel this way through my own experience. So if it works out for you, that's good. But for me, it didn't really work out, and I don't think it ever will. For those who it has worked out for, good on you. But I think I can speak for the large majority of men that it's rarely successful. Oh, by the way, this is me just clearing out some old pots to plant some new stuff in. And I have to drill holes in some of them that don't have drainage. But anyway, back to my failure dating a married, my failure dating and marrying a single mother. So as a man in my mid 50s, I've been in more than a few long-term relationships. I was even married for 17 years to a single mother of one. After that marriage ended, I was engaged to a single mother of three. I had three other relationships before my first marriage, in which none of those women had kids. So how did I end up with two different relationships with women who had kids? The first woman who I have my two kids with had a single child. She only had one child when we met. But the kid wasn't really in the picture. Now, I know it sounds weird. Doesn't make any sense, right? But let me explain. It's not that she kept him hidden. But in fact, the grandparents basically raised the child while she was living her life. Okay, so let me get off the story and get back to the thing I'm doing. So I just bought some soil, some fertilizer, and I'm planting seeds in these little pots, and I'm hoping for the best. So you can see what I'm doing there. So anyway, back to the story. Now, all of them, her family, she lived with her parents, and I guess she wasn't fully ready to be a full-time mother at the age of 28 when I met her. I think by that time the child was maybe 7 or 8. I think she had, or maybe even 10 or 11. But she was 28 while I was 23. So as a 23-year-old man, I was feeling so grown that I had this older woman. And since I had never met the child, like I said, I think the child was 9 or 10, because I think she had him when she was 18 or 19, maybe 18. But anyway, the whole dynamics of helping to raise a child hadn't kicked in. So when we got together, it was basically like she didn't have a kid at all. I don't remember it being any problems where we couldn't meet or do anything because of her responsibilities as a mom. Well, second thought, maybe I just can't remember because it was such a long time ago. Maybe she may have had to wait until the kid was in bed or something like that a few times. But for the most part, it didn't really stop us from, dating and doing things as a couple. So I don't recall there being, like I said, I don't recall there being any problems. I basically never really heard much about the kid or experienced any setbacks until it was time to get married. So here I am. Let me get off the story. I'm growing. I bought a whole bunch of seeds at like Whole Foods. So these are what I'm planting in the pots. All right, back to the story. So like I said, we didn't really experience any setbacks or things, the child didn't really affect us. So even when we did get married after 3 years of dating, I still hadn't met the kid. It's crazy, right? Again, I was in my early 20s, and by the time we got married, I was 26. So before the engagement and marriage, we ended up in a long distance relationship because I met her while I was working in her town. So my contract there had ended and I was being transferred to a new place. Now, however, this is where the dilemma came in. Even though I had to leave and ask her to break up, well, I straight up, I was like, we need to break up because I'm not going to be here. And she didn't want to. She still didn't want to. I thought it was best to break up because I had never experienced a long distance relationship before. I take that back. I did have a long distance relationship and it didn't work out. And I was pretty much against it. But, sometimes we stand on something and sometimes we fall off of it. And we end up getting, talked into things. Now, I'm not saying it's all her fault, but, it doesn't help when you have somebody that's really good at talking you into things. So I just wasn't interested in having a long distance relationship. But me being soft-hearted at the time, I gave in because she was relentless about not breaking up. I mean, she would not let it go. She would not break up. She was like, I don't care. I'm still going to, come see you, whether we're together or not, and all that stuff. And I was like, man, I swear I tried 2 or 3 times to break up and she wouldn't give up. She wouldn't give into it. So I had to capitulate. I mean, she dug her heels in to where she was ready to fly out to see me wherever. Because mind you, I was a couple hours. I was a flight away from where we met. So that's the way she put it. She was like, why do we need to break up? There's airplanes. I can fly wherever you are. So instead of instead of me sticking to my guns, because in one hand, how many times can you have someone that's really down for you in life? That's how I was thinking. I was like, man, maybe, I wonder if I'm making a mistake because I never had somebody this down for me, that I was assuming that she cared for me that much, but later, it's really a control thing. It's really that person wanting to be in control and being selfish. So anyway, at the time, just didn't know. It was just different from anything I knew. So anyway, at my big age now, I know that was just good old manipulation. Because why not let somebody be free if they want to break it off? Just say, okay, I understand that, you want to end the relationship. I'm talking as I'm talking to her. Like, I understand you want to end the relationship. But if you change your mind, let me know. Actually, that's what anybody should say to somebody wanting to break up with you. We all have free will, and it's not fair to try and convince someone to go against what they wish. So let them decide if they made a mistake, especially if they're the ones who are initiating a breakup. So from that, we got married. We had 2 kids, and eventually we still got divorced. So you see, when you keep someone from doing something in that moment, eventually the original thought is going to come back again, and there's nothing you'll be able to do about it because the first time was the warning.